There are some other functions that we'll need to learn in order for us to be able to use the different kind of filtering that we have: the maintain filtering, the shrink filtering, expand, and the change filtering type. So we need to understand how to use calculate together with the filter function, and also we need to understand how to use the all function as well. So let's return this back to where it was. So let's just change this formula back to calculate revenue, comma, location equals to south, which was where we started from. So I'm just going to edit this and put equals south. Then I'll come and change the name here to south revenue. And just for description purposes, I'll put in parentheses here plain. So south revenue plain. Hit enter. So this should give me the revenue for the south region alone, and it should repeat the same thing across board for every selected region. Now remember what we call syntax sugar, right? So this is some form of syntax sugar on the calculate function, where you just use something we call a predicate here. So you just calculate revenue and you say location equals south. And if you wanted to write this ordinarily without using the syntax sugar, the ideal thing to do is, or let me say the more ideal thing to do without using the syntax sugar, is to write something that would look like this. So let me right click, new measure, and I'll call this south revenue. Now this will no longer be plain, this will be with filter. Okay, so south revenue in parentheses with filter, and it's going to be equals to calculate. My expression is revenue, and my filter, for my filter now, which function do I use to filter my tables? Which function do I use to control a filtered table? Because now I want to filter my table to show only the south revenue, so that I can use that to calculate my figures. So that's the filter function, right? So I'm going to use, let me just go to the next line here to continue that. So calculate revenue, then I'm using filter. So filter function, and filter has two arguments. The first one is the table, the other one is the expression. What am I using to filter? That's what filter expression means. So my table, if I think my table is going to be orders table, or my table is going to be location table, because that's where the region is. So location, then I put a comma here, and my filter expression is where the location region is equals to location region is equals to south, and I close my parentheses. So when I hit enter, and I'm going to try and add that to this report now, let's see what difference it makes. So south revenue with filter function. So you are going to notice that this doesn't return for all the rows. It doesn't return the same value for all the rows. And judging by what we have explained from inception, if we go to investigate the formula, you see that it's doing the right thing, because we have said it should calculate revenue and it should filter the location table. So at this point, the location table is going to show only central, because that's where the filter context is starting from. And when it shows only central here, there's no way it can see south. At this point, location region is going to show only east. Of course, within the eastern region, there is no south, okay? And that's why you have blanks for central, you have blanks for east. So ideally, you want to do something like this. So you don't want to say location table, because location table is going to start from the beginning filter context. We want to open it up. We want to expand this by putting an all there. So all location. So let's wrap location around all. So now when I hit enter, you now see that we have the same thing. Okay, so but then we could use all as something that we can use to generate tables, or we can use all to generate unique lists from a column. Since we are only concerned here about the region and not necessarily the complete location table, then it's more ideal here to specify all location region rather than just give it a full table. So all location region, and hit enter. So essentially the equivalent of this function is what you have as syntax sugar that you can now write like this.